Hello, and welcome to the 119th edition of Beer Issues. My name is Matt Bruckert. I'm coming to you live here from Casa de Bruckert. Well, maybe not live, but for the beginning of Oktoberfest, which begins September the 19th, so we're already into full swing of Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest this year would go from September 19th, and it's always until the first Sunday in October, which would be, I believe, the 4th. So very exciting. So today we're going to be having an Oktoberfest beer from Paulaner, the Paulaner Oktoberfest Märzen. It's a Märzen style beer. And we've talked about this before. What does Märzen mean? Märzen means March. So the beer is brewed in March, and then they cellar it and then break it out for Oktoberfest, this special beer. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the beer so we can talk a little bit more about it. Now the beer is rated a 87 out of 100, which makes it a very good beer. And I would probably rate it even higher than that, just because I do love a good German Oktoberfest. So what do you get from a German Oktoberfest? Well, first of all, the beer clocks in at 5.8% alcohol by volume, okay? And I'm going to set that there. You get a nice reddish, copperish type color, a light head, just a beautiful beer. You got good carbonation. You can see the carbonation. You might not be able to see that on the video, but you got a nice flow of carbonation coming up there. Now, the Paulaner brewery has been around since 1634, so it's been around for a long time. Now, they started making the Oktoberfest, just to give you an idea. This Oktoberfest has been made by Paulaner since 1818, so they've been brewing this beer for a long time, and I think, as far as I know, it's the original recipe. The cool thing about this beer, and a lot of the German beers, they only use 4 ingredients when you make it. You use water, you use hops, you use yeast, and you use malt. Nothing else. And they derive the flavors that you get from this beer just from those 4 ingredients. So, an excellent beer. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to talk about it. Now this, like many German beers, is a bottom fermented beer. So just a little known fact there. So you do get a real light hop, like a bready, I smell a little bit like almost a vanilla and maybe some caramel scent that you get, but it's actually not what it is. It's all part of the 4 ingredients. Even though you get these scents and smells from them, it's all based on, malts, water, hops, and yeast, nothing else, okay? So whenever I talk about these flavors, there's very few beers that actually add stuff, and I'll always kind of point that out when they add stuff. But this is, a German style, German tradition brewing, been around since 1634. So it's a great beer. So I'm going to go ahead and sample this. Perfect. They do a perfect job with this beer. That's why it's been around since I've been making it since 1800s with the same recipe. Because what they do is they use the proper amount of hops that you get in the front, and then it balances well with the malts. So it doesn't taste real hoppy, although you get that in the beginning, you get that hop. But then the smoothness of those malts comes through, and I think it's roasted malts. Oh, fantastic. I love Oktoberfest season, the whole Oktoberfest beers. I love the German beers. I've been to Germany. I even opened up the bottle with a German bottle opener, and I actually have a second one as a backup just in case we need it. But anyway, I love German beers. I love the Hefeweizens. I love the Doppelbocks. I love the Oktoberfest. There's nothing about German beers that I don't love. I pretty much love everything about it. Probably, definitely one of my favorite beers. For periods of my life, I would say that German beers were my favorite, okay? I think I've mentioned before that I think maybe that the Belgian beers have taken over, but I still love to go back and enjoy these beers because they're just beers you can drink, every day, rain or shine. It's consistent. It's just a beautiful beer. So make sure you check out this and many of the other beers. For those of you, I think I mentioned this before, Oktoberfest this year in Germany was canceled, so that's a lot of extra beer that's out there. So you might want to check around to some of the different places. Like I know at Total Wine, all of the true German Oktoberfest type beers, they had put on sale at a lower price than they normally are by at least a couple dollars a six pack. So instead of paying like $10.99 a six pack or $11.99 a six pack, now they're like $7.99 a six pack or $7.99 or $8.99 depending on which beer you get. So it's a good value, and I think part of that is the fact, with they cancel it, you don't realize how much beer is produced for Oktoberfest. Okay, just to give you an idea, Paulaner produces about 2 million hectoliters of beer per year, and they distribute that to over 70 countries. So I don't know if you know about hectoliters. That's a lot of beer, 2 million hectoliters. So that's being dispersed all over the world. And it's not just for, I'm not saying they do that just for Oktoberfest, but there is a lot of beer drank during Oktoberfest. And it's not just over in Germany, but there's festivals all over the United States this year that got canceled. So there is probably a ton of values that you're going to be seeing over the next short period of time with all these German beers. I'm going to be drinking a lot of it because I know what a great value it is. So if you've enjoyed this, make sure you tell your friends, and they tell their friends, and their friends tell their friends, until everybody knows about Beer Issues. If you want any cool gear, you can go on and go to shop.beerissues.com. Not only will you be getting cool gear to wear, but you'll be helping to support Beer Issues because, this beer is not free. Somebody's got to pay for it, and that's me. So anyway, make sure you check it out. And as my wife likes to say, I have Beer Issues.